For the longest time, many wrestling fans were waiting for the professional debut of AJ Styles inside of the WWE. AJ Styles, about 14 years earlier, was offered a contract with WWE, and he turned it down. AJ Styles would go on a route with TNA and ultimately become a big superstar, along the likes of Samoa Joe, Austin Aries, and other TNA talent. Unfortunately, his time in TNA would come to an end, and when his time in TNA came to an end, everybody speculated he'd be heading to WWE. But that's when things took a change. AJ took his own career into his hands and went over to New Japan like a lot of wrestlers lately have been doing. And in doing so, he became one of the, if not already, the greatest wrestler in the world. AJ would set the world on fire, having amazing matches with the likes of Okada and, to be honest with you, Tanahashi. But here's the thing. AJ Styles, doing that, was regarded as probably the best wrestler in the world at the time. And when the best wrestler in the world gets signed by the biggest entertainment company in the world, a lot of fans aren't ready for what's going to happen next. And that's where AJ Styles' evolution in the WWE took a turn that pissed off a lot of fans. AJ Styles debuted at the Royal Rumble in 2016, and although it was absolutely phenomenal, his build into WrestleMania would puzzle a lot of fans. Speaking from somebody that was there in attendance, sitting next to one of the biggest AJ Styles fans, waiting for the biggest moment of his career possibly, and to see him lose and to see the despair on none other than CM Pulse's face, had me thinking. At the time, I said it would be a good thing. I said losing at WrestleMania to Chris Jericho would turn out to be one of the best things he could do. Pulse told me to fuck off, and for the just big reason is, when you're invested into a talent such as AJ Styles and they lose, even if it makes sense, it sucks. Because when you invest so much into one of being the greatest wrestlers in the world, why the hell they would lose to a part-timer like Chris Jericho has many confused. Now, I still can't defend that result at WrestleMania. It led to something a lot greater. He would lose at WrestleMania, and seeming like past trends, losing at WrestleMania would ultimately send you on a path for the WWE Championship months later. AJ Styles would win and would go on to challenge for the title, and would go on to hashtag beat up John Cena. Now, a lot of people thought hashtag beat up John Cena was the club. AJ Styles was constantly teasing it. You had Finn Balor, but ultimately he would get injured and may have put plans on hold at SummerSlam when Finn Balor won the title. I thought there was a lot of different ways they could go with the brand split to possibly have the club on TV in a major role a la The Shield. What better way for AJ Styles, Luke and Carl Anderson, and Finn Balor to re-imprise their faction from overseas into the WWE. But with Finn getting hurt and the draft really kind of spicing things up a little bit, it seems like WWE went a route to put AJ Styles on his own. They put him on SmackDown and they did make him champion, although his reign has not been very good for a lot of AJ Styles fans. He's been involved with James Ellsworth, which has pissed off a lot of people. This is the best wrestler in the world, they say. Why is a guy like AJ Styles messing around with James Ellsworth? Even if it's entertainment, AJ doesn't deserve this. He's the best wrestler in the world. He's one of the greatest performers. He deserves better than this. He deserves to be the biggest and the baddest, the best. But it's WWE. Now, unfortunately, WWE has a lot of goals and a lot of things they must push. And in the ring right now is one of those things that eventually I will talk about, how WWE could throw a pivot in the road. Now, AJ Styles, I still believe, has the potential to bring back the club, and on TV, at least, be in a position to change the game. Currently on SmackDown, he's feuding with Dean Ambrose, and he's doing a lot of stuff. Well, he finished it up, and now he's facing John Cena, and he's been in this everlasting thing of just revolving around pretty much doing nothing. For as great as he is, he really hasn't had that much to be super proud of, and that's kind of pissed off a lot of fans. Some fans might like where he's gone, but some fans think he's still capable of more. And that's exactly why I believe John Cena coming in and taking away the title from him, the part-timer, the guy that isn't in the company, the guy that comes back while AJ Styles is there week in and week out, the face that runs the place, and then this son of a bitch just comes back and takes it away from him. If you don't like AJ Styles' build right now, logically storyline-wise, if you're looking at it, you need a crescendo, you need a turn, you need something to make AJ Styles lose it and possibly bring out that other side. That best wrestler in the world, the one that joined the faction, the one that shit on everybody, beat up everybody, took no shit from everybody and did what they want. And that's where the club can come into play. Now, to get there, though, there's a lot of speculation that's been happening. The Undertaker shows up on SmackDown, and then he shows up on Raw. And a lot of fans are questioning everything. Because the brand split, they're supposed to be only on one show. How can they be on both? That doesn't make sense. John Cena. I mean, let's be honest here. It doesn't make sense. But then, when you truly think about it, when you think about where the Royal Rumble could possibly head, and AJ Styles floating the possibility of an HBK match, until HBK comes back on Raw TV and it looks like he's just promoting a movie and in fact never was about an actual match. But WWE floating the possibility of the match is huge. Although Daniel Bryan also had a possibility teased against facing HBK, AJ Styles going that route could kind of change the game. Because could you imagine, maybe in my plan, the Bullet Club debuts right after, because Cena would win and the club will go on a little bit of a rant. But if Finn's not ready yet, what if we wait till WrestleMania? What if he beats up HBK and then he beats the absolute shit out of him? Okay, they're not going to go that route, and I get it, but what a thing it would be for AJ Styles, the guy Triple H brought in, to shit on everything. He can go after the Shield would have to align, because currently the Shield is in a feud with the Authority. Roman's got his own stuff going on, but Seth Rollins' ultimate plot is to get revenge against Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Now, I've said this along the way, aligning Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns on a similar path, similar to Dean Ambrose if he's not doing anything on SmackDown, to reunite the Shield would be one hell of a way for WWE to go headed into WrestleMania. The Shield versus the Shield versus the Shield versus the club. Can you picture that? Can you picture that in your mind on the marquee? Say you have John Cena versus The Undertaker. Say you have Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg 2. And you get the Shield versus the Bullet Club, the one thing you wanted. But John Cena had to get the title first, and that's going to piss a lot of people off right now. But if the club was to come, you'd be a lot more excited. And that's, I think, the problem with WWE. When you have so many possibilities and so many different ways you could go, being on that writing team and making the right one cannot be easy. And that's, alas, where we are today. AJ Styles right now is the champion, and he's carried SmackDown Live. Although many people haven't agreed with his booking or where it's gone from there, he still is the champion, and he is the face that runs the place, the champ that runs the camp on Tuesday. He's made the world go round, and even though a lot of people have disagreed with his booking, and a lot of people have seen AJ Styles booked weak, and it drives them absolutely insane, the fact is he's still the champion. He came in at WWE last year, and many people thought after never beating John Cena, or needing people to beat John Cena, until he finally did it at SummerSlam, which again, I was there in person to witness, in the amazing route of actually doing it, setting yourself up for the long term, AJ Styles got himself over in the middle of the ring, and then Cena would come back down the line. And what bigger ploy than to have Cena come back and take it away from him? Why? How? I have no idea. But if he was able to win, where could he go from there? If he holds the title all the way to WrestleMania, maybe we could have somebody debut like a Samoa Joe. If somebody like a Samoa Joe won the Royal Rumble, they could easily pull on the history of TNA, and they could have Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles, which the fans could really, really get behind. But is that the best plan for WWE fans? Are WWE fans going to know AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe best, or are they going to know something else? And that alone is the problem with WWE, and I think with the writing itself. Because if you have a match like HBK versus AJ Styles, the possibilities are endless. You're going to light the fans up with the one thing they want. They want to see HBK wrestle again. Now, if he loses to HBK, though, what better way to lose to HBK in the middle of the ring? HBK wins. He gets his last victorious moment, and then it happens. The lights dim, and the Bullet Club has fully surrounded HBK. On the grandest stage of them all, they lured back in the biggest legend, Mr. WrestleMania, and in the middle of the ring, the club reunites and sets the world on fire, taking out HBK. Everybody is speechless. Is HBK in a hospital? Is HBK taken out? What is Triple H going to do? What is Triple H's retribution for his best friend? How does he go from here? The guy that he brought in, he brings in AJ Styles the year before. He gives him the title. He's the champ that runs the camp. He beat John Cena. And that son of a bitch just took out HBK, his best friend. It's probably not going to happen. But the club would happen. I think there's a lot of great ways to go. So when you think of the evolution of AJ Styles, just imagine what the writers have to go through. But until next time, it's your boy tubbyemu, and we will see you all next time.